They say the church is a hospital for the broken. But what happens when the doctors walk past you while you are bleeding out? We talk a lot about transformation on this show, but you can't transform what you won't confess. And for a long time, I didn't want to talk about this part of my story. I'm talking about the side of faith that leaves you with scars instead of healing. I'm talking about, folks, religious trauma. Next week, we are going to be dropping two of the most important interviews that I have ever conducted. But before we get to the experts, you need to understand why this matters to me. You need to know why I take healing from religious trauma so personally. Because before I was a journalist, before I was a CEO, I was a casualty.
Welcome to the Transform You live show.
So you all, if I can for a moment, I want to take you back. Let's go back. When I was a young minister, I was on fire. I had the zeal, I had the platform, and most importantly, I had the calling. But I was also a human, and I fell. I fell very hard as a victim to lust. See, I pursued a relationship that I had no business being in. It didn't just go wrong. It went catastrophic. It became a catastrophe. It led to my demise. I found myself facing legal charges. I was looking at the possibility of a conviction. I was looking at losing my freedom. But God knows how long. Now, by the grace of God, those charges were dismissed. The legal system let me go. But the church, they had a totally different verdict. You know, in the Army, we have a code. Leave no man behind. If a soldier gets hit, you have to drag him to safety. But in that particular season of my life, when the charges were dismissed, I waited for the phone to ring. I waited for the elders. I waited for the council. I waited for someone to say, Marcus, you messed up, but let's restore you. The phone never rang, folks. It was absolute radio silence. It was excommunication without a trial. I wasn't just removed from the pulpit, I was erased from the family. For over 3 years, I carried that. It was hard. It was heavy. I didn't want to stare at a microphone and speak about God. In fact, I thought God had turned his back on me. The charges were gone. But the prison remained in my mind. I guilted myself like every single day. I wrestled with my identity. Was I still a man of God? Was I damaged goods? Did I just disqualify myself from my own destiny? I was drowning in spiritual abuse. Some of it from others, but a lot of it very self-inflicted, because I had no guide, no one to tell me otherwise. But God, only God. I eventually found a new church. I found a spiritual mentor who didn't look at my rap sheet. He looked at my heart. He helped me to recover. He taught me that healing from religious trauma isn't about ignoring your own sin. It's about understanding that grace is so much bigger than your biggest mistake. Christ is for everyone, no matter how much you think you messed up. Christ is there. That brings us to why we are here. Religious trauma isn't just hurt feelings. It's a psychological rapture. It's when the tools that are supposed to heal you, the scripture, the community, the prayer, are used to shame you and attack you and to push you farther off the ledge. If you are listening to this, and if at all you feel like you are disqualified, or if you feel anxiety every time you walk into a church building, you ain't crazy. You aren't crazy at all. You are just injured. And injuries, they need treatment. Sometimes a lot of treatment, sometimes a very short treatment plan. Regardless of the fact, you can be healed. And let me tell you, I lived through it. I survived it. It was days when I just wanted to take my own self out. But now, I want to help you understand it. This is my goal. I realize my story isn't unique to anyone, or just unique to myself. There are thousands of you dealing with the same shame regarding your sexuality, your identity, and your past mistakes. That is why next week, we are bringing in the heavy artillery. We aren't just sharing stories. We are bringing clinical expertise. I'm going to be sitting down with DeAndre Baylock Solar. She is an ASECT, certified sexuality and relationship therapist. We're going there. We are going there, folks. We're going to be talking about the intersection of faith, sex, and shame. We're going to be talking about why the church is so bad at handling sexuality and how that leads to the exact situation that I fell into, though mine didn't necessarily have anything to do with me no longer identifying as a straight man or a heterosexual man. I'm on a different side of the sexuality talk. But, of course, we'll dive into it. And we also have Anne Marie Zanzel. She is a powerhouse coach who specializes in helping people navigate complex identity shifts. So if you are questioning, if you are deconstructing, or trying to rebuild after the church let you down, she has the absolute blueprint to get through it and rebuild. Rebuild. These conversations, man, they were so hard and heavy, and most importantly, they were raw. I asked the tough questions because I know what it feels like to sit in the dark. DeAndrea breaks down the psychology of purity culture and how it messes with our heads. And Marie, on the other hand, she talks about the grief of losing your community. So if you ever feel judged, isolated, or anxious about your faith, you cannot miss these episodes at all. So here's what I need you to do. If my story resonated with you, if you know what it's like to have the charges dismissed, but the guilt still hanging over your head, lingering, remaining, hit that subscribe button right now for me. Turn on your notifications. You do not want to miss out on this series. Please don't. You have to return back here. We are going to break the silence once and for all. We are going to stop the shame. We are going to inspire, ignite, and transform your trauma into your testimony. So without further ado, I'm Marcus Hart. This is the Transform You live show. That's the Transform the letter U live show. And I want to wish you all many blessings, peace, and lots of love. And I'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you for listening. I'll catch you on the next one.